Good morning, Purple Math folks. Today we're talking about quadrilaterals. So quadrilateral, you can see it spelled right there, quadrilateral. And if you were riding a quad or an ATV, it has 4 wheels. So quadrilateral is a shape with 4 sides. So these are all different types of quadrilateral. So first up is the rectangle. We know what a rectangle looks like. But here we have a definition for what it means, and you have this in your packet. The opposite sides are congruent, or the same. All angles are right, and the opposite sides are parallel. So let's look and see what that means. First, it says the opposite sides are congruent. Remember that congruent means the same. They're the same length. So here's our opposite sides, right there and right there. Do you see how they're opposite of each other? They're on the other side of each other. And then these ones are opposite sides as well. Right there on the other side of each other. So it says that all of our opposite sides are the same. So we see that those two are the same size, and those two are the same size. Remember, we talked briefly yesterday about those little lines right there. This one has one line through it, and that one has one line through it. That means that they're the same size. And that one has 2 lines through it, and that one has 2 lines through it. So that means that those two are the same size. Okay? So the opposite sides are the same size. All angles are right angles. Well, that's easy to see, right? We see the little box in the corner for all of our angles. And opposite sides are parallel. So again, we have our opposite sides. And those are parallel, right? Parallel is like the train tracks. They go on forever and ever and ever and never cross. Okay, so that's a rectangle. Opposite sides are congruent, all angles are right, and opposite sides are parallel. Next up is a square, and a square is almost exactly the same, right? We still have that all angles are right. We still have that all opposite sides are parallel. The only thing new is that all sides are congruent, not just the opposite sides, but all sides are the same, okay? So, this is a good spot to talk about how a square is also in the rectangle family. And here's how we can check that. Let's look at our square, and let's see if all the rules that apply to a rectangle can also apply to a square. So it says the opposite sides are congruent. Well, that side and that side are congruent, and that side and that side are congruent. So that works. All angles are right angles. Yep, we've got 4 right angles. And the opposite sides are parallel. That's parallel, and that's parallel. So, a square is a rectangle. But let's see. Let's check and see if a rectangle is a square. So let's look at the rules for rectangle. Or excuse me, for square. For a square, all sides have to be congruent. Well, are all these sides the same shape? The same size? No, they are not congruent. So a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square. So let's go on to the next one, is a parallelogram. Hopefully we see the word parallel in there, so we can kind of be expecting to see some parallel sides. So it says that the opposite sides are congruent and the opposite sides are parallel. So let's see. Those 2 sides are parallel, and they're the same size. They're congruent. And then same for that one and that one. I didn't draw it very well, so these 2 don't really look perfectly parallel, but let's pretend they are. That side and that side is parallel, and they're the same size. And if we use our definition for parallelogram for a square, let's see if a square is also a parallelogram. So it says opposite sides are congruent. Are opposite sides congruent? Yeah. And opposite sides are parallel. Yeah. So a square is a square. It's also a rectangle. And it's a parallelogram. Let's go on to our next one. Rhombus. A rhombus. So a rhombus is just like a parallelogram, but instead of opposite sides being congruent, all sides are congruent. So for our rhombus, all 4 sides are the same, and the opposite sides are parallel. Yeah, So that would be a rhombus. And let's see, would a square be a rhombus? It says all sides are congruent, opposite sides are parallel. Are all sides congruent? Yes. Are opposite sides parallel? Yes. So a square can be a rectangle, a square, a parallelogram, and a rhombus. Our last one is a trapezoid. A trapezoid. A trapezoid has exactly one pair of opposite sides that are parallel. So this one and this one are parallel, but that one and that one aren't parallel. And same thing for this one. This one and this one are parallel, but that one and that one aren't parallel. There's just one, exactly one. So is a square also a trapezoid? Well, our rule says one pair of opposite sides are parallel. If we look at our square, that and that are parallel, but that and that are also parallel. So that's two sides. So a square can't be a trapezoid. All right, for this, you are just going to write underneath what each of these is. So number one, I see one pair of parallel sides. So we know that is a trapezoid. And how about for this one? We know these little lines mean that all of these are the same size. So all are the same sides. All sides are congruent. It could be a rhombus or a square. Squares also have only right angles. That doesn't have only right angles, so that means that it is a rhombus. Let's do one more. Let's look at this one right here. So I'm seeing that the opposite sides are congruent, right? That's what those lines mean. 2 and 2 lines means those are the same size, and 1 means those are the same size. So I'm seeing that the opposite sides are congruent, and they also look parallel. Opposite sides are congruent, opposite sides are parallel. That is a parallelogram. Parallelogram. All right, so that is all it is. There is also a back page, and I will post the textbook pages as well, just in case you need some more practice. I hope that you are having a great day and you're enjoying the sunshine. We've had a couple really nice days. Please, please, please make sure that your parents and guardians send me your work. Lindley, I've gotten your work from last week, so thank you. Aliceria, I don't have any work from you yet. So our reward for today is that Miss M will pick out what outfit I wear for the next video if 6 people can turn in their work. So if you turn in your work, not only do you get to participate in the rewards, but you also get credit for it, right? This is still school. You'll still get grades for the things that you do. And if you don't send it to me, if I never see it, then I can't give you a grade for it. So please make sure that you are submitting the work to me, either through a picture, or if you can't do that, then sending it in with the driver on Tuesday. All right, have a great day. Bye.